Welcome to Solo Shot First, and today we're going to be having a look at the 332nd Ashoka's Clonetrooper. Now, I always struggle actually saying that, I don't know why, but this actually came in the post to me yesterday, and I've got to say the first impressions of the actual card back are very, very striking. I mean, the actual image that they are using there is a artist's impression. It doesn't look like that image has actually even been pulled from the Clone Wars, but it is still a nice artist's impressions. In terms of looking at the figure in the bubble, although obviously this is the original old sort of Clone Trooper, the helmet just looks absolutely stunning in the bubble. That's all I can say on that. It is a bit of a shame, obviously, that they are using this old sculpt, sorry, in terms of, you know, the skinny legs, etc. But, you know, I think we knew that. It's a little bit of a shame that, you know, that hasn't been altered. But at the end of the day, you know, again, it's a very, very nice looking figure, and the head sculpt from the helmet perspective does look very impressive. It does actually come on the, just double check, yeah, the thicker cardstock, which is obviously lovely to see that we're now getting that. The nice sort of Star Wars, Clone Wars logo there, and it comes obviously with the blue name pill and the blue background. Kenner logo obviously in the bottom right hand corner, the warning in the top right as you look at it, and the 4+ age group. But the figure does look really, really nice in that packaging. As I said, even though, you know, we know that the articulation, while fully articulated, is a little bit restricted on these, it's, I suppose this is just about, you know, getting it as part of having it, I suppose, from Ahsoka's sort of clones, really, I suppose, if you want. And if you wanted to army build this one, it'd be interesting to see down the line. I can certainly see them potentially down the line putting this, certainly this clone in one of those 4-packs, because it'd just be an ideal way, once everybody sort of got their collecting, if you like, whether it be carded or loose, 1 or 2. It'd be a great army builder. So very nice looking front of the card. Said nice looking helmet sculpt. Let's have a quick look at the back of the card. So this is VC248. And again, you've got that lovely Star Wars racetrack with the Vintage Collection logo in the bottom. Too much of that legal information, which I don't necessarily think we need. And then obviously you look at the other figures that we have either in part of that wave or in future waves coming. So you've got Fennec Shand, which we've already had. The Death Watch Airborne Mandalorian Trooper. I know some people have actually had that, but I don't think it's always readily available. You got Ahsoka Tano from Corvus, the Mandalorian Super Commando Captain, which again I think some people have had, but it's not always readily available at the moment. The actual 332nd Ahsoka's Clone Trooper. I'm glad I said that correctly again. And then obviously you've got Arc Trooper Jesse on a standalone card, which we've obviously had previously as part of that 3-pack. And then Figrin Dan and Din Djarin from Morak. So VC248. And we'll have a quick look at the front of the card again. Just quite simply because I think, you know, it is nice card art. It definitely is nice card art. I mean, I'll be opening this one because the actual card itself is... It's got a very, very small blemish. I don't think you're going to be able to see that, but just there. And I wanted to get this figure loose anyway. I mean, it's not going to be massively drastic from any of the other clones that we've actually had. But, you know, if you're a card collector, nice to have this card. And if you are a loose collector and you want to build that army, this would be a great one. Obviously, if they do re-release this in that sort of 4 trooper pack, and down the line, you know, be great to army build. So all we need to do is get this figure out of the packaging. We'll have a look. Okay, so here we have the figure out of the packaging. And as I said, I'm not going to report too much on it because in terms of the articulation, you know, obviously being this sort of older clone, if you like, in terms of the the phase of clone. It is obviously that sort of very limited, not limited, but it's got the skinny legs. The actual proportions don't quite look correctly, and obviously so the helmet does look very, very oversized. But I mean, as part of the modern vintage collection, it does still obviously have that sort of full articulation, obviously in terms of the head. You've got articulation at the shoulders, you've got articulation at the elbows, and obviously you've got a swivel in the wrist. The one weird thing on this one, I'll just sort of showcase it here a little bit if you can see. It does actually have a hinge in the wrist, but it's actually like inside. So you can move the hand up a little bit like that if you can see, but how that would help in terms of the posing, not quite sure. It'd have been better if it was on that part, but at the end of the day, it is there. At least there is some sort of form of hinge. You've got obviously articulation at the hips. It doesn't obviously come with those butterfly hinges. This is obviously an old sculpt, just been repainted. Articulation at the knees and at the ankles, and obviously there's no rocker there. So it's not the sort of full bells and whistles that we have been getting, but as I said, this is just quite simply a repack. I think the paint applications on this are very, very nice, in terms of if you look from a side-on perspective. You've got the blues obviously sort of work quite nicely on that in terms of on the sort of shoulder pads, and obviously down his sort of armour or pants, I suppose, but it is armour really. And then obviously across the chest, so that's quite nice. In terms of the actual head or helmet, I should say, we'll pull that off quickly so you can actually have a look at the figure. And again, that's a really, really nice head sculpt. So that's a nice touch. Obviously, you've got a really good looking head sculpt in there. And the helmet, the attention to detail, if I can get that to focus, that is really, really nice, and probably the only reason I actually bought this figure, because there's some really nice paint apps on that. So yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's an old sculpt, but if you want to army build this figure, it's worth picking up. In terms of the accessories that come with it, you just do get the sort of the two blasters. So you get his standard sort of pistol, no colouring or anything whatsoever, just the plain black, if you can see that. It's a little bit thicker, which is probably good, but then it's probably just said that sort of rehashed plastic, and the longer range blaster. Now that is a little bit more flimsy, but it's still sturdier than the things that we have been getting. So accessory wise, the two blasters, see, that come with it. But nice paint applications, okay articulation, great helmet sculpt. So, if you are a fan of the clones, you're going to want to definitely probably pick this one up anyway. So, anyway, listen, it was just a quick video. I hope you have enjoyed that video. If you do, please hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, there'll be more videos coming shortly. If you've got any questions or you want to make any comments, please leave them in the comments section below, and I'll come back to you as soon as possible. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Bye.